couple of games with tendinitis. He is back in the lineup. And Shane Southwell, a career-high 6 assists on Monday versus South Dakota. There's Bruce Weber, his first Big 12 conference game as head coach. And Oklahoma State in the black and K-State in the gray. And right away off the opening tip, Spradling took an elbow right in the eye.
Yeah, Kamari Murphy going for the ball as well. Just gets him right in the eye. Watch that hand get right up there. The hand crosses through the eye, and a quick foul out of the gates for Kamari Murphy.
Spradling, the junior from the Kansas City area, Overland Park, Kansas, has had a nice season in this 2012-2013 campaign.
You get a chance to watch this motion offense of Bruce Weber. A lot of screens, really looking more for passing than dribbling. He talked yesterday about how the drive a lot of times got them off with it.
Thomas Gibson, the big 6'7", 270-pound sophomore, has the first points of the game.
Well, and you said it, 270 pounds, just pushing inside, great position, left-hander jump hook.
Smart lost it, gathers it back, tied up, and they're going to call a foul on Kansas State on Rodriguez.
Boy, tough call there for Angel Rodriguez. Kind of a loose ball situation on the floor. Great pressure by Rodriguez. He missed the last 2 games. Didn't really look full speed yesterday, I didn't think, in practice, but they need his presence out on the floor.
You saw the thumbs up again there from Bruce Weber. I think he likes the energy.
Yeah, loves the energy. You know, the thing for Bruce Weber coming in here, Frank Martin did such a great job at establishing that intensity, that the way that they play. And you watch the pressure there on Marcus Smart going down on the floor for the loose ball, and just comes up with a foul there. It's a tough call there, I think, for Angel Rodriguez as he's battling. But the difference, though, between Frank Martin defensive style versus Bruce Weber defensive style. Bruce Weber looking for a little more help defense, a little less up the lane, a little less. He's still looking for pressure, but not quite as much as what Frank Martin had on this Kansas State program for the last few years.
And Travis Ford in his 5th season, 20-plus wins his first 3 years. He was in the tournament the first couple of years. And by the way, the stoppage in play, our referee, Mark Whitehead, took a look at that just to see if there was maybe an elbow. There was nothing on either side, so we play on.
I got to tell you, I get tired of that. I mean, that's a loose ball. We don't need to go look every time. Games, I understand protecting the players, but sometimes you get just a little too far with it.
Markel Brown, he will stay with Oklahoma State with 17 on the shot clock.
And Markel Brown, so athletic. A little bit of a tough matchup for Spradling, I think.
First shot for Marcus Smart, in and out. And a one-armed rebound for Spradling, who runs it up.
Nice battle underneath.
Gibson lost it out of bounds. That battle between he and Philip Jurek.
That's a lot of beef battling down there, Mark. You know, Jurek does a nice job of pushing Gibson out away from the basket. He's staying behind him, but he's using his strength to push him out, and that says a lot. Gibson at 270.
Yeah, Gibson 6'7", 270, as we mentioned. Jurek at 260, but at 6'11". Smart trying to go to work, gets it back, jump stop in the lane, and bumped into Spradling, who picks up the foul.
You know, Marcus Smart is one of those guys that can just do so many things for you. And, you know, the thing about that is you'll talk about guys like this that can do those things. Watch the battle go into strength. Marcus Smart's so smart with the ball, putting it down, reads the defense, takes the opening. But when you talk about a guy, I think, Mark, that you say this guy can do it all. Well, a lot of times he tries to do too much. That's the thing I love about Marcus Smart. Just a freshman, but he plays within the game, and he does so many different things for him. Look at, you can move him inside, you can take him out on the perimeter. Kind of a point center, I think. He can do all those different things for him.
Smart, a career-high 23 points the other night against Gonzaga, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Strangely enough, both these teams' last loss at the hands of Gonzaga. Here's Rodney Magruder, whose scoring is down just a touch this year, Chris, adjusting to the new offense.
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure out where he's supposed to be at on the floor. Where are his points going to come from? A little different style.
Gibson going up. Jurek got a piece of it. Here come the Cowboys with Smart. Brown in the lane, adjusts and miss. And Jurek over the top.
You know, one of the things that Oklahoma State talked about yesterday was shadowing Rodney McGruder. And what happened there is Philip Jurek thought that he had to come and help on Rodney McGruder coming over the screen, but Thomas Gibson slips the screen, goes to the basket, and it keeps Jurek a little bit out of position, but really that's not Jurek's responsibility. That's the offside big man. Jurek's doing his job of showing on the screen. The offside big man's got to get over there and help for Gibson on the drive.
Michael Commons has come in for Kamari Murphy for Oklahoma State for our first substitution. Southwell had a career high 6 assists the other night in South Dakota. 3 Spradling. And a rebound for Commons, who's just in the game the other way. Markel Brown.
Wouldn't you like to be able to do that, going one way and say, well, I'm just going to go up and spin 360 in the air and finish it.
First bucket of the game for the Cowboys. Here's the Jurek-Gibson matchup again. Spinning underneath, flipping it up. A miss, has his own rebound. Knocked away, but a foul. Cobbins took it into the seats with the block. No goaltend, but the foul on Jurek.
A nice outlet pass here, and the athleticism of Markel Brown. He kind of turns his body trying to protect the ball and then says, well, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not going to square up to the basket before I jump. I'll just do that in midair. That's a nice luxury to be able to do.
One of the leading scorers for Oklahoma State, 14 points a game coming in.
Jurek gets that foul. He fouled Gibson on the first shot. They didn't call it, and so they called it on the second shot. But Jurek walling up behind Gibson, trying to make him score over the top, which I think is the right idea there. You just got to stay down on your feet. If you're going to make him score over the top, make him score over the top. Don't leave your feet going for the block shot until the ball releases.
Gibson, a 54% free throw shooter, hits 1 of 2. Smart, closely guarded by Angel Rodriguez, floats it up and scores.
Great patience there by Marcus Smart. Tries to set up the play by bringing the ball left and attacking. Defense never released off their men as far as Kansas State help defense, so he just goes ahead and uses his size advantage on Angel Rodriguez to take him inside.
Southwell's going to shoot the 3. He hasn't shot a ton of threes this year, but he's hit 46% coming in.
Yeah, he'll give you a couple a game, and look, if you choose in the right position, which he did that time, you're going to have a high percentage. Double foul there, Gibson and Jurek.
That's going to be the second on Jurek. He joins Murphy with 2 fouls for Oklahoma State.
This probably hurts Oklahoma State more than it hurts Kansas State. Oklahoma State really an 8-man rotation. You saw Jurek with the elbow in the throat there trying to get position, and Gibson didn't like it so much.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, especially now coming from Jurek. I think you might feel that elbow. Now the two guys have really been battling. Well, they push him back. You know, you see that the first time we saw Jurek first, but the second time we saw Gibson first. That's a tough job for the official. You never really know which blow started the whole thing, but Oklahoma State going to go with a small lineup. Substituting in Phil Forte Jr. for Philip Jurek.
Our officiating crew, Mark Whitehead, Paul Janssen, and Terry Ogleby trying to keep early control.
That's going to be a tough job. Both these teams very physical on defense. Going to probably evolve into a half-court game.
3 from Marcus Smart. Almost came out, but stayed in.
Now, great ball movement down on the wing as well. Phil Forte, quick pass up to the top, swinging the ball, trying to find the open guy.
Jordan Enriquez now in for K-State. Gets the feed from Spradling and shoots a fadeaway and scores. Well, he's kind of an X factor for them, Chris. If they get production out of Enriquez, K-State can be dangerous.
Well, that's really been the story of his career at K-State is you're never sure which Jordan Enriquez you're going to get. They would love to have the guy that finished off the season strong for him last year. You just haven't seen him that much this season.
Smart trying to create, stripped by Rodriguez, gets it back, and a nice bounce pass, and underneath the foul with LeBron Nash's shot attempt. So he'll be at the line when we return. Tied at 8, nearly 5 minutes in. We'll be right back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66. Game 1 of the conference season here today. Look at the preseason poll. Kansas is the preseason favorite to make it 9 consecutive conference titles, followed by Baylor, Oklahoma State 3rd, and K-State was the preseason pick at 5th. In many ways, though, Chris, after KU at the top, you go 2 through 6 or 7, you could jumble them just about any which way.
Yeah, I think it's wide open, no doubt. I think Iowa State's probably ranked a little bit lower. Texas, the way they started the season off, obviously struggling there without Kabongo, but I think they're going to regroup, get back in there, but this thing's wide open. You know, so many games. It's hard to believe 18 conference games. And, you know, the thing about it, you talk to the coaches about, what do? You know, the thing that's missing in a conference race that's that long is any rest, any weekends off. You know, maybe one weekend that you don't get off. So important, especially talking with Oklahoma State with the shorter rotation that they have, is managing those practice minutes.
Brian Nash, who's been the most frequent free throw shooter for Oklahoma State, knocking a couple down. Straddling the lob and the jam by Rodney Magruder.
Nice offensive set that time by Kansas State. Moving the ball side to side, getting that back screen.
Smart says, take that. Hello.
I love this kid. I tell you what, watching him yesterday in practice for the first time live, just watching his demeanor on the floor, his toughness, leadership ability.
That quieted down the Bramlage crowd quickly. Rodriguez trying to ignite them again. His pass underneath is stolen. A great play by Forte. Long baseball pass and the finish by Markel Brown. OSU by 4. Open Williams hits from the free throw line. Nino Williams, a sophomore out of St. Louis. Assist to Rodriguez. Smart finding Cobbins. There was Enriquez.
Looks like Kansas State found that button. Get Jordan Enriquez playing.
Lefty Cobbins misses. Williams trying to make it 2 straight trips down the floor with a bucket, but cannot. Forte stumbling underneath. The blocking foul is called on Williams.
And a scrambling defense by Kansas State. Up all over the floor, pressuring Oklahoma State's kind of had some success, I think, pressuring them in areas that Oklahoma State really wasn't too comfortable with, but the Cowboys have been able to finish at the basket.
Smart gets a breather. Artavius Irving, who's missed the last couple of games for K-State, has checked in, and a 5-second call before the inbounds pass from Kirby Gardner.
I don't think it's any surprise that you get a 5-second call when you put Marcus Smart on the bench. I mean, he does so many things for him, but not a lot of movement by Oklahoma State on that inbounds. Again, Kansas State, good half-court pressure. Kansas State tries to get Magruder inside a little bit more now with Phil Forte guarding him. Marcus Smart sitting on the bench.
Forte, the high school teammate of Smart at Flower Mound Marcus High School. Kind of off balance, and Magruder off the mark with the 3. Brian Nash, and the sophomore with the fadeaway. Got it. Brian Nash out of Dallas. was last year's Big 12 preseason freshman of the year, which a label tagged on Smart this year. A couple of impressive recruiting classes for Travis Ford. Williams from 17, well off the left side that time. Kirby Gardner has it blocked by Enriquez. The block leader for K-State, Enriquez, with his 25th rejection. But how about this earlier with Smart? This was after a lob and a jam from K-State. Proud sponsor of the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship. Both start with Phillips 66 and both stand for performance. Phillips 66, experts in gas since 1927. Marcus Smart right back in this game for Oklahoma State. He has at this juncture, game-high 8 points on 3 of 4 shooting.
Yeah, Travis Ford got him out before that timeout. Get him just a few seconds, really, of a breather. But he's going to need it. A good pace right now in the half-court physical game.
Gibson waits. Fouled. The late block by Cobbins. That's the second time already in this game the K-State crowd has wanted a goaltend, and Bruce Weber will be thinking along those same lines.
Yeah, Kansas State wants to go inside right now. You've got Jurek on the bench. Gibson with that size and strength in there. He's going to be able to get position really wherever he wants. So Oklahoma State's going to have to figure out an adjustment to keep him out of the scoring position that he likes, which is pretty much dead center on the block.
Gibson 2 of 3 from the line so far today.
Travis Ford yesterday telling his guys, we're not going to beat him with strength in the paint. We've got to beat him with our height and athleticism. You're seeing Gibson right now winning that battle.
Well, the Big 12 opener, 2 ranked teams and a 2-point game. With nearly 9 minutes gone here from Bramlage Coliseum. Ten to shoot. Smart looking at Nash, decides with 2 to shoot. They're going to have to put it up quickly and can't. Forte unable to get the shot off in time, and the shot clock violation.
Well, it didn't take very long for Travis Ford to turn down the bench and say, Markel Brown, get back in there. See Phil Forte. And that was really the problem that series for Oklahoma State. They weren't able to get any penetration to the basket, pull off the help. Kansas State's been able to lock down all over the perimeter, not allow Oklahoma State any open looks.
Gruder 1 for 2 so far today with 2 points. Gonna take it, Irving. Martavius Irving, it's his 11th made 3 of the season to give K-State back the lead. They missed Irving the last couple of games. Nash with the right hand, short. Nash not called reaching around there. Midway through this first half, it has come as advertised to this point, Chris.
Yeah, half-court battle. Not many transition opportunities. Both teams running clock, just trying to find a shot.
Spradling misses with the 3 attempt. Smart in transition. A off-balance pass. Forte feeds Brown. Rebounded on the offside by Gibson.
A little bit of a tough shot for Markel Brown out there, guarded.
Irving went behind the back. In the lane for Gibson. Loose ball. Forte able to keep it for Oklahoma State, and the champ by Markel Brown, who shows the ups again.
He is some kind of athlete, isn't he? You give him the ball in transition, you're going to see something happen.
It's a couple impressive dunks already from Markel Brown in this game.
Well, great hustle by Oklahoma State going down on the floor that last possession. Multiple guys.
Gibson got Cobbins in the air. and puts it in tight.
And Cobbins just does not have the strength to keep Gibson out of the paint, just backing down. And if you're going to do that, you got to get a guard digging down to help him out. You know, we talked about Marcus Smart, Mark, and what he does for this team. Watch this kid. Gets knocked down on the floor and jumps right back up into play, gets in there and able to steal. A lot of guys are going to be looking at the ref saying, hey, wait a minute, what about a foul? Marcus Smart jumps right back up, able to get the deflection. Phil Forte, his high school classmate, going down on the floor as well.
Timeout used by K-State here. Told you early that you can log on to Big12sports.com/CTB and check out the Big 12 Network announcer blogs covering the baseline. This week, Dave Armstrong previews the Big 12 Conference. Dave and Stephen Howard have the call for the game coming up after us, the Oklahoma-West Virginia game from Morgantown at 3 o'clock Central. Bruce Weber, who is Andy Katz's guest on Andy's podcast this week, so log on and take a listen to that. Bruce Weber in his first season here at K-State. There's always going to be a period of adjustment for any coach.
Yeah, well, you know, I think one of the things that helped this Kansas State team probably more than anything was the chance to play during the summer, their trip to Brazil, chance to get to know their coach a little bit. And I don't know, I mean, it might sound like a crazy thing, but the coach has got to earn that respect from his team. Now, if you get recruited and you come in, yeah, that's probably going to be there, but for a guy taking over a program,
taking it to the rim. Omari Lawrence, junior from the Bronx, with the bucket and the foul.
Great motion by Kansas State and a nice decision here by Omari Lawrence to take it to the basket. Kamari Murphy's got to be a better defender than that, because now what he did was give Philip Jurek his third foul. Cut off the baseline, not put your big man in a bad position to come over, and Omari Lawrence, nice recognition there. Junior, the transfer, had one season at St. John's. Played for Norm Roberts there.
Gets it to fall on the right side of the rim for K-State and finished a three-point play.
And that's a tough play for Oklahoma State. Not only the three-point play, but also the third foul for Jurek to set him on the bench.
Rodriguez looking for one there at midcourt. Up ahead, Southwell finishes. Timeout, Oklahoma State. K-State has opened up a 6-point lead with 7:43 to play in the first half.
Yeah, great pressure on the perimeter, and they just forgot about Angel Rodriguez falling down. Watch Shane Southwell's right or left arm. He knows that a great shot blocker is coming by the name of Marcus Smart, the freshman, the point guard that we've talked about, but also leads Oklahoma State in block shots. He was timing it, and Southwell saw him coming, uses that left arm to fend him off, keep him away from the basket, and the right extension for the finish.
12-2 run for K-State in the last 3.5+ minutes to take this 6-point lead.
Well, Angel Rodriguez was not happy there at all. He felt like Marcus Smart kind of gave him a shoulder, knocked him to the floor. And Smart,
which would have been his second foul.
Yeah, and he's got to be a little smarter about his actions out there. He doesn't really like the pressure that Kansas State has been giving him. To come up with a different word than smart, because if you call Smart, all of a sudden,
sounds redundant, doesn't it? But it is a fact.
Play. How about that?
Forte looking, jump stop, got it, and one. So he'll have a chance for the three-point play when we come back from the break. On the other side, a studio update from Doug and Reed on the Texas-Baylor game. We'll be right back after this message from your friends at Phillips 66. Hey, Doug, thanks. 17th year of the Big 12 Network. Right at the top of our coverage, Reed Geddes said 17 years. Doug, you and I have gotten older and fatter. Well, Doug looks great. Hasn't changed a bit, but as far as Reed, that self-assessment I think is pretty accurate.
If I get some glasses, will it make me look smart as well? I mean, those look really nice on Reed. I just want to look smart. I know I'll never be smart.
It's all about image.
Hey, 7 assists so far for Kansas State. Only 3 for Oklahoma State. Kind of tells you for both teams where their offensive production is coming from.
Forte completes the three-point play to make it a three-point game, and some full court pressure after the made free throw. Now Brown and Smart wanted to trap Rodriguez. He would have none of that, but Southwell nearly walked.
Little run and jump, but a nice job by Southwell getting right in the middle of the floor. Angel Rodriguez hitting him. A little zone look here by Oklahoma State. Just wanting to mix up the looks a little bit for K-State.
Three over that zone is short from Rodriguez. The rebound off the floor bounces to Forte.
Plus foul trouble for Oklahoma State makes that zone even better for him.
Three from the left corner. Markel Brown has shown what he can do at the rim, and he shows what he can do from three-point range.
And I like the ball movement that time. Less dribbling for Oklahoma State. Quick ball movement. Tough to guard if that ball's swinging.
Well, we talked yesterday with Travis Fortress. He said ideally in his offense he would like to score within the first 8 seconds of the shot clock.
I'd like to play for that kind of offense. You know, get the shot up early. Although his definition of a bad shot was a contested shot. So, but that was good ball movement that time early in the shot clock, finding the open guy.
Smart underneath. Blocked by Gibson on the shot attempt by Cobbins. Irving finds Rodriguez. Angel not there.
That's good recognition by Irving, knowing that Angel Rodriguez is spotted up in his position out there.
Scoop shot. Boy, was that pretty.
Boy, you just got to get in front of him. You just can't let him get to the basket. And that's easier said than done because of his strength, his ability to finish. And Oklahoma State getting on a little run here with nice ball movement. Look, coming down the floor, Kansas State not sorting very well. Then there's the drive by Marcus Smart, pulls off the defender off Markel Brown there, and a nice extra pass for the shot. And then you've just got to get in front of this kid. Nice pick up top by Cobbins, and Gibson not wanting to pick up a foul maybe. I'm not quite sure why he's not sliding over there using that big body to take a charge.
10 points now for Smart on 4 of 6 shooting from the field. Marcus Smart with a career high 23 points against Gonzaga in the non-conference finale for Oklahoma State. The last game prior to the start of conference here. And even though they lost that game by a whisker, it seemed, Chris, like Oklahoma State came out and felt like, hey, you know what? We played pretty well against an outstanding Gonzaga team.
Very skilled team. Gonzaga is going to be there in the mix at the end of the year, no question about it. And quite frankly, Oklahoma State probably should have won that game. Just weren't able to finish down the stretch. But for a young team like that, able to take something away from it, positive, it's only going to help them.
Cowboys were happy with the crowd at Gallagher-Iba Arena. They said they brought the rowdy back to Gallagher-Iba with that Gonzaga game. Hope to see more of that.
Yeah, one of the toughest places to play in the conference. If you can get the people in there, they're right on the floor.
Nino Williams called for the offensive foul. And it's Oklahoma State ball with the 2-point lead and 5:29 to play in the first half.
So many screens in the half court by Kansas State. Not only does the screener have to be set, but the guy coming off the screen as well. Got to make sure your guy isn't still trying to get to his spot before you come off. K-State's done a really nice job on Phil Forte, not allowing him to get open for any looks. Averaging 11 a game.
Forte trying to create there, couldn't get it to the rim. It was grabbed by Enriquez.
Yeah, the freshman, a great three-point shooter. Just gaining more and more confidence, but that's the aspect of the game that he's going to have to get better at, the ability to put the ball down on the floor and finish inside the three-point line.
Magruder, well short, going after his own rebound, slings it back, and kind of a jump ball in the air, deflected. Spradling able to deflect it to Rodriguez, and now finished by Enriquez. You got to give Magruder credit there, Chris, for following that well off the mark three and keeping it alive.
Yeah, bad defensive rebounding that time by Oklahoma State leads to the shot. And again, Jordan Enriquez giving K-State big minutes here.
Around and out for Brown. Smart getting a breather has quickly come back to the scorers table to check in at the next dead ball for Oklahoma State.
Oh, nice.
Williams all alone underneath, juggled it a little bit on that feed from Rodriguez, but was able to put it home and make it a 2-point lead for K-State.
Yeah, miscommunication by Oklahoma State on their help defense that time.
Thrown out there by Magruder. They need to reset the shot clock and do, but it's with Oklahoma State.
It's amazing the change in offense for Oklahoma State when Marcus Smart goes on the floor or goes on the bench. When he's not out there, he's such a presence for him.
So a timeout on the floor. That last sequence for K-State. Nice feed, no look pass from Angel Rodriguez to Nino Williams, and it's K-State. Hey, Doug, thanks. Look forward to that shortly. We're just 3:34 away from halftime here at Bramlage Coliseum. Marcus Smart, the true freshman for the Cowboys. Right now a game-high 10 points, 3 rebounds as well as a couple assists and no turnovers in his 13 minutes played. He's at the scores table waiting to check in to this upcoming free throw from Kirby Gardner.
Now coming into this game, Marcus Smart just the 3rd leading scorer for Oklahoma State. LeBrian Nash and Markel Brown both at 14. Marcus Smart at 13. Kind of figured out his offensive rhythm, I think, a little bit at Gonzaga, but he doesn't have to score for this Oklahoma State team to win. I think that's the difference for Marcus Smart.
Gardner hit the front end of the 1-and-1 after the 9th K-State team foul, but misses the 2nd, and it's a 1-point game.
I think Travis Ford probably at halftime is going to be talking more to his team about the defensive side than anything. Kansas State shooting 53%. Bruce Weber's got to be happy with how his offense has run for the most part. Oklahoma State back to a man now. They're in zone for about 3 possessions.
Rodriguez with a 3. Skying for the rebound, Markel Brown. Well, a subtle thing here, Chris, with the missed free throw on the tail end of that last sequence, and there's a bucket and a foul. It kept Smart off the floor. He's going to find his way back in here shortly. Here comes Smart now to replace Gardner after the foul on Enriquez.
Multiple times here this afternoon, we have watched Oklahoma State go from outside the 3-point line all the way and finish at the bucket, and late help by Kansas State. Shane Southwell does not leave his man at all in that play, and that's something that Bruce Weber's been trying to work more with this team. Little difference in defensive philosophies. Wants more help defense, more off. Frank Martin was more about getting up in the line, getting up in the guy's face with the ball. More individual responsibility, I think, there. And Bruce Weber wanting to get his guys to come off, and they've not done a very good job of it so far in Oklahoma State with that athleticism getting all the way to the basket.
That athlete Markel Brown now has a game-high 12 points. Brought up by LeBrian Nash. Nash able to collect. Oh, he's doubled and travels. Just the 4th turnover, though, for Oklahoma State in this first half.
Yeah, it's been a physical game for both sides, and really both teams going at it. We figured it'd be a half-court battle, and it started right from the get-go. Angel Rodriguez up in the face. You see the big man paddling. These guys have been going at it, and then they're going at it just a little bit too much there. Gibson and Jurek early before we even got the ball down the floor. They both picked up a foul on that. Jurek with 3 fouls sitting on the bench right now for Oklahoma State.
Brown kicks it to Forte, who launches a 3 that's a tad long.
Yeah, Rodriguez, good recovery there, showed on the help, and then able to get back out to Forte. Knows he's guarding a great shooter.
3 missed by Southwell, but K-State keeping it alive.
Gibson all over Marcus Smart back there, pushing him underneath. Marcus Smart unhappy with himself. He wasn't able to hold his ground.
Gibson's their leading scorer, K-State, 7 points, and they say he touched it last.
And there's that height over strength. And watch Cobbins just being able to get to the high side enough there, and they'll try to lob over the top. And you're going to have a tough time lobbing with that bad of an angle against a guy with the length of Cobbins.
Tough to tell, but from that last angle, it may have touched the fingers of Gibson last, but it was close. Smart off with the shot, went for the steal, and does get it. But that's because Rodriguez threw it right to him, not knowing he would be there, looking for Irving, and then Forte underneath is fouled. by Shane Southwell. A frustrating sequence here for K-State.
Well, Southwell pleading his case, not going to get that one back, but Angel Rodriguez over penetration, not knowing what's going on, just assumed that he was going to be in the open in the corner, which he was, but Marcus Smart still trailing behind. And twice now we've seen Marcus Smart get knocked out of the play and get himself back up and get the steal.
Forte hasn't shot a bunch of free throws, but has hit 87% coming in, but misses the first. A minute 2 to play in this first half. The conference opener, 25th ranked Kansas State and 22nd ranked Oklahoma State.
Pretty much right along the score line that we thought it would be, a game in the high 50s, low 60s. Oklahoma State going back to that 2-3 zone.
Second time they've shown that today.
See if K-State, yeah, they're going to match up out of it or just following cutters.
Rodriguez trying to get by Nash. Foul on the Brian Nash.
Yeah, it was a good switch there by Travis Ford. They showed the conventional 2-3 earlier. That time went more of a matchup zone. Still staying in their spots though, but going with the top cutter, relocating, and Kansas State trying to figure out what they were supposed to do against it. Just trying to throw some different looks at Angel Rodriguez and this Kansas State team, see if they can figure it out, throw them off rhythm a little bit.
18 foul against Oklahoma State.
I think where Kansas State gets really good in the half court is they're able to run that motion man each and every time and start getting that kind of that rhythm that Bruce Weber talking about yesterday, that they're starting to figure out. Timing on the cuts, reads coming off. .81% free throw shooter. Rodriguez knocks down both to make it a 1-point game. You have about a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Spin with the left hand missed by Cobbins. And now K-State can hold it for the final shot. And that's the direction from Bruce Weber on the bench. Cobbins can figure out how to make that shot in there. He's going to be unstoppable. His release was so high. Cobbins broke his toe in the exhibition season and missed the first 5 games of the season for the Cowboys. Yeah, he's just starting to get back in the rhythm as well. He's getting a little bit more time here in the first half. Obviously, the Jurek in foul trouble. Magruder. Wow. Round the block and the foul with 2.8 seconds left. And that is the thing that this Oklahoma State team can do from about every position, the athleticism. Markel Brown going up and making an unblockable shot, a blocked shot. And a hard foul there. Marcus Smart going down, landed on that right wrist a little bit. He was holding it, but this kid is so tough. First foul on Magruder. That's the 10th team foul against K-State. So 2 shots here from Marcus Smart.
Kansas State substitution is number 55, Wells.
11 first half points for Smart. Brown leading Oklahoma State with 12. Gibson still the game high score right now for K-State with 7. Short, tipped. Smart going after it, but it's out of bounds with just 0.3 of a second left to K-State. So no way for K-State to score here. And we're going to go to the half with a 2-point game. Throwing it deep, Gibson. Wait a minute. Only 0.3 of a second. As I mentioned, there's no way you can score. So it's waved off. And right away our referee Mark Whitehead on that. Tell you what, if there were, and he was short anyway, but nonetheless, that takes us to the end of the first half. A physical first half. Oklahoma State leading it by 2, 32-30. Now let's send it to the studio. Here's Doug Bell along with Reed Geddes.